One thing that I think is super unhealthy in our culture is the fact that not everyone, a lot of people expect one another to um, experience a certain level of emotional suffering or emotional labor or have certain emotional reactions to all the same events, if that makes sense. And if you don't participate in that in the same way that everyone in that group does, then they will get upset at you for it, if that makes sense. This is something that comes up, I feel like, a lot in political stuff and certain current events. And I'm not trying to get into like any sides really, but I do believe that um, we have to look at how things are occurring on a mass scale. And we are not meant to live under the 24-hour news cycle. And we keep bombarding ourselves with all of this shit. And it's not healthy to do that, just like point blank. I don't care if you're left, right, center. It's not healthy to be plugged into that all of the time. It doesn't mean you should not give a fuck. It doesn't mean you should be completely detached from, what's going on in the world. But if someone decides that they are not going to participate in that in the same exact way that you are, it doesn't mean they're a bad person, and it doesn't mean that they're not empathetic or lack compassion just because they're not allowing their emotions to be manipulated in the same way that the masses are, if that makes sense. When it comes down to it, like, media is mass emotional manipulation, and where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So all of these apps and these platforms that we use, they, consume us, and our energy is harvested in so many different ways on Earth. And one of the major ways is through news and current events. Like, there are some wild stories out there online that may or may not be true about some of the stuff that happens on the news, and some people who have, participated in protests being paid maybe. And anyway, that's just one example of many, but like, I'm just trying to say there's a lot of shit that goes on, and the world is a stage. And if you don't believe that the world is a stage, and you don't believe that they're trying to influence your energy, then we're just not on the same page, and that's okay. But I don't want you projecting your shit onto me, telling me what I have to care about in terms of how my emotional reaction to something needing to be like the same as yours, if that makes sense. Like, I've gone through that. I've been deep in the political stuff, deep into it, lots of involvement. And then I went through a whole experience and kind of went to the opposite side, to maybe a bit of not an extreme, but it seemed extreme because I was like on the other side for an extreme, and then I realized all of it's a game, all of it's a trap. The sides, like everything, it's all a trap. So you're allowed to have boundaries, and you can take your power back. That's all I'm trying to say.